Let's cross to Simon Marks, France 24 correspondent in Washington. Simon, you have been following this speech throughout the last hour. What did you make of it?
Well, I think the first point to make is what an extraordinary piece of political theatre that was. I mean, the soaring rhetoric that we have now become accustomed to from Barack Obama, accompanied by some amazing images that you will have seen in the as the speech was made. Democrats leaping to their feet and cheering him at various points. Republicans at many points throughout the speech sitting stony-faced, their hands very much in their laps, not getting behind very many of the president's ideas. There were catcalls at times for some of the things that the president had to say, and I think at least one of them came from the Democratic side of the aisle, illustrating that he's going to have enormous difficulties not just with conservatives, but also with some progressive Democrats on the left wing of his own party who will, I think, view what he has announced tonight as definitely a step away from some of the plans that he was endorsing during the election campaign, particularly what he had to say about the so-called public option. That is essentially the plan that would see some kind of government-run system as part of the country's healthcare reforms. He described the public option as only a means to achieve equity in healthcare arrangements here in the United States, and that is political speak for essentially saying that if there are other ways of achieving equity, he'll be prepared to look at them. In other words, despite the soaring rhetoric at the end of the speech, citing Ted Kennedy and the letter that he said he'd received from the late senior senator from Massachusetts about the importance of finally being the president in history who brings about healthcare reform, that indication that he's prepared to embrace a plan that does not necessarily include a government-run portion of the healthcare system over the long term, that is going to irritate a large number of progressive Democrats who I think are going to be very critical of this speech. He tried to reach out across the aisle to the Republicans. He said that he's not going to back any kind of healthcare reform that inflates America's deficit by a single dime.